realized fairly early on that that's the kind of life he really liked.
Yeah.
And so he basically, walked away from whatever his parents had, probably, going to
He
investment
told me
stuff or
it
whatever.
was the black sheep.
Yeah, so he basically took a left turn for the family's ideas of what their offspring should be doing. And so early on, he ended up having a ranch down in kind of the southeastern corner of, I can't remember the name of the region,
Was it Colorado?
in Colorado.
Yep.
And he married an opera singer. And so kind of between the ranching and the opera singing, they would kind of have different lives of running around and doing things. And Henry realized, he didn't really like this traveling and following her around, and he didn't really like living the rustic lifestyle, so they kind of mutually split up. And then he ended up with partners in Cuba, ranching there before Castro, and had a pretty big operation.
Okay, that's brand new. That's brand new.
Cuba.
Holy
Take a moment,
mackerel.
suck it up. And that was always,
Holy that.
What a colorful life so far.
I mean, and he was,
Wow.
and if there was a role model for the Marlboro man, Henry could have been it, kind of guy that ride his horse in the bar and buy everybody a drink
Oh
and
my God.
party all night and be ready to go
Right
at
off the
daylight the
sunrise.
next day without
Jesus.
even knowing he had a drink. So they saw the writing on the wall and bailed out of Cuba and ended up in southern Mexico down in the Chiapas area.
Oh my God.
You didn't make this up.
This is like Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid.
Huh?
it's not Bolivia.
This is Henry Duffy.
So amazing.
Those guys was
Holy mackerel.
And so then he's down there and he had these wealthy partners or associates and friends that were out of Mexico City. And he's up in Mexico City playing polo when he comes down with polio. Basically spends a year in the iron lung in Mexico City in the
Oh
hospital.
my
For God's
God.
sake.
And so he gets out of there and he's, in those days, part of the rehabilitation was you basically had a full coat of armor afterwards. You had these braces that went all the way up your legs and, crutches and everything. And so he's obviously not an active cattle rancher anymore, so not riding horses and doing that kind of stuff. So he's hanging out, and I don't remember whether it was Puerto Vallarta or Acapulco, but in one of those places where gringos are coming down to, party and stuff. And Kerry happens to be down there with a bunch of his doctor friends just on a vacation thing, and they're in this bar, and they see this guy with all this metal work on him and hanging around the bar, and there's a bunch of doctors sitting around thinking, no, there's an interesting medical specimen. Let's
Jesus.
get this guy over here. We'll talk to him about what happened and what's going on with him. And so they get
Yeah.
over there, and one thing after another, it turns out, Henry starts talking about his ranching experiences in his
Oh,
life,
my
and
God.
Kerry mentions, my family owns this big island and we're cattle ranchers, and why don't you come and visit us sometime? And so Henry basically had nothing else to do, he's no longer able to really be active
Jesus.
working
Oh,
rancher
bless
guy.
his heart.
So he comes to the island, and that's when he meets Edmund Stanton, Kerry's father, who's still kind of running things. And they go
So
riding
he-
around
he
in the
was-
Jeep, and
Henry was here before Edwin passed away.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
so
No, that's new.
this was about 1960. So they're riding around and talking and everything, and Edwin says, well, man, you sound like you know a lot about this stuff, and I've got this, they always had this problem of foremans and superintendents that, they would only last a short period,
Right.
wouldn't know what they were doing, and for whatever reasons, didn't last. Said, I don't really need your brain, your ability to walk and ride the horses, I just need your brains. And why don't you come and run this place for me? I'll get a Mexican boy to ride around with you. I'll set up a Jeep with hand controls so you can drive it yourself. And so one thing led to another, and set it up.
What year was that?
About 1960, I think.
1960, okay.